I'm Dump Truck DS. Welcome back to Mapping for Quake. In this episode, we're going to cover two Quake utilities. One is PakScape. It allows you to look inside of pack files and extract files out of a pack file, and you'll understand more in a second. Also, Quake 1 Model Viewer does exactly what it says. You look at Quake models, but you can do a little bit more than that, and we'll cover that in a second. PakScape has a really simple interface. You just kind of open your pack file. I'm going to go ahead and open Quoth here. And this will show you the directory structure of the pack file. So we have graphics, and under that we have environment or env. We'll talk about that in a second. Maps, you can see the BSPs that are embedded in the pack file. Progs, this is where a lot of goodies are stored, mainly models and sprites. I'm not quite sure if there's other files that might be in the progs directory. I can't think of anything right now. Also sounds, this is where this is really handy to have, so you can audition different sounds. Let's see this guy. And in this pack file, we have textures. Now, these are external textures. Quoth was made a little bit later when new engines were able to show, external graphics. So you normally probably won't see this in a lot of mods, but these are replacement textures, so 24-bit. So the great thing about PakScape is you can just drag and drop elements, these assets out of the program into a folder. So we'll just go to a door. So we'll just grab that guy and export him out of the pack file. So that makes it really easy. So graphics is where you would put your skybox textures. If you've seen my tutorial, you understand that. This conback lump file is your console background. Quoth has a custom one. Now, one last thing is you can create directories, you can import files, you can import directories, and then, of course, you can export using these menu commands. So if you're creating a pack file and you need to add files to it, that's where you would do that. Let's go to the progs directory and take a look. The Quake 1 model viewer will automatically open when I double-click on this enforcer. Okay, make that a little bigger. Let's walk through this really quickly. It's very simple stuff. Left-click to orbit around the model. Shift left-click will move the model in the viewport. Right-click will zoom in and out if you click and hold and right-click, and that's the navigation. That's the extent of that. Down here on the lower left side, you've got your texture shading and all that stuff if you want to change it to wireframe. I'm not a modeler, so I'm not going to go into any kind of detail here because I don't know what half of the stuff is. But wireframe overlay might be useful as you're painting your models, etc. This is what I use it for, is basically for skins down here, so I can toggle between the different skins that are embedded in the model. This is really important. When you're using something like Progs Dump or Arcane Dimensions or any mod that uses custom models and you need to change a skin, if you're looking at the skin here on the Model Display tab, this is not really labeled correctly. This is not skin 1. This is just a quirk in the program. This is actually skin 0. So when you're doing this, go ahead and refer to this list under the textures tab here. This is what it would be called, for example, for the backpack model in Progs Dump. If I go to skin 5 here, it says skin 5, but under textures, this is skin 4. You can import textures, although it will replace the one that you're currently on. It will not append. Again, this is alpha software and it's not fully featured. So if you import something, you're going to replace what you're parked on, so be aware of that. It only deals with BMP files, so just know that as well. When you export a texture, it also does it in BMP bitmap. So we've got our different animations here. We can do the run animation, preview all this stuff, stop it, speed it up, slow it down, all that good stuff. You can toggle through these frames of animation, and you've You've got the information on what the start frame and end frames are. So if you're using, an animated model and need to loop frames in a mod like ProgsDump or Arcane Dimensions, you can find those really easily down here. All right, for the miscellaneous tab, I've loaded a different model in here, like a fireball kind of thing, spiky ball here. So on this tab, you are able to add the model flags to it. So you have a rocket trail, a grenade smoke trail, bloody gib trail. You tell it to rotate. Let's say if you have if you're making a new weapon model, you would want to have that for the pickup model. Rotate. Green, kind of wizard spit trail, zombie blood, and this particular one has an orange trail on it. The orange trail would be what the Hell Knight projectiles use. And then, of course, the purple trail is going to be the Shalrath Vorballs, or the Vorballs. Anyway, so that's where you set these, and then you'd save it to lock in the change. Now, the editor tab I'm not going to get into because, again, I am not a modeler, and this kind of deals with referencing the Quake C source code. Not a whole lot of editing you can do in general in this program anyway. Just kind of skins and those flags and a couple other things. So Quake 1 Model Viewer, it's very handy. It's very simplistic, and I've used it a lot in the development of ProgsDump to do minor edits on things, and especially looking at skins and animation frames. That's it for this episode. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll see you in the next video.